parents. I am outside today, mostly because the baby is sleeping inside, and this is the only place where I can get some peace and quiet to do my video. I'm sure you guys can relate. And that started to get me thinking about how, well, one of the main things I'm sure you guys are going through at home has nothing to do with your child's speech sounds or their language. It has to do with their feelings. This is a really great book. It kind of puts feelings into a visual for children. It's called In My Heart, A Book of Feelings. And when I read through it, I didn't read every single thing they said. When I read this to my child, sometimes we can get through all the really great descriptions. Other times I just say, they're mad, they're happy, let's keep it going. But this is a great book still to practice your speech and language sounds. For language, great to ask questions and also to translate it then to in the moment. If your child is upset or you think you might know how they feel, but they have no idea how to word it, you can try doing a visual. Another thing that we do as part of our conscious discipline is to empathize. So if your child is crying, you start using your words to describe how they feel and empathize what you do when you feel that way. So if they are screaming, crying on the ground, kicking the floor, obviously, and you know they're mad because you took a toy away, I start kind of narrating. I say, oh, you're mad. You're mad because the toys had to go away. Guess what? When mommy feels mad, you know what I do? Sometimes I stomp my feet on the ground, or I give myself a big hug, or I go sit by myself, or watch, I'll take a deep breath. I do that when I'm mad. And then when they start to calm down, what I always say is if they're screaming or crying, if their face is really red, you can empathize, show them how they're acting, how they're feeling, but you might not be able to get to the talking through it phase. So once they get there, then you can say, you know what? Sometimes things make me mad, and maybe give them an example. Sometimes when I drop something on the floor that makes me so mad, and you know what I do? I count to 3. 1, 2, 3, and I give myself a hug. And that makes me feel better. What do you do? What do you want to try that? And kind of picking something that helps with them. So to get back to the book, each page has a different shape. So these are a lot of great words for us to practice our sounds with. The first one is a house. So you can pause the story when I'm reading it and have them practice their H. House. For language or for speech, you can also talk about why our heart is like a house, because it holds so many things. And you can talk about what's inside our house. We have our kitchen, we have our couch, we have our dog. Our house holds so many things, and your heart can hold so many feelings. Happy, sad, shy, scared. Then, next one, star. Good one to practice your sounds. S for the S, T for the T, star. She is very happy. Happy is another great one. Happy for our P. And for language, just talk about, give them examples of things that make you happy. If they can't come up with anything, if you say, what makes you happy? And they say, I don't know. Point out something that you know makes them happy. Oh, you know what? When Daniel Tiger comes on, I can tell you're happy because you start dancing or you start jumping up and down. Or when you get a piece of candy, you smile, and that shows me you're happy. Pointing out these physical characteristics helps them to recognize their own emotions as well. But you can say, you're happy because you're smiling. So it doesn't always have to be the negative. I would point out anytime they're showing emotions, and then it's easier to translate when they're angry. Your face is red, you're frowning, you look really mad. When I'm mad, I take a break, and that helps me. Next is the world. Use your W. Sometimes I have them pull it out, otherwise you can say kissy face or fish face. And then the D, world. And this talks about being brave. So you could tell your children, compare them to some of the superheroes or a book or something. They were brave because they helped this person. Or you can talk about a policeman and talk about times that they were brave. You were so brave when we went to the doctor. He gave you a shot and you went in there and you just, did it, didn't cry or smiled. Or the first time you rode your bike, you were so brave. And boom, the explosion has our B, 2 lip sounds. B, boom. and I just point to the lips for that, or m. And it talks about being mad, another good lip sound, mad. And same thing, talk about things that make them mad. This is probably something you guys, if you are having issues with your child at home, not expressing their anger appropriately, these are good ways. You can say, when you're mad, you're kicking and doing this. When I'm mad, I do this, and this helps me, and this makes me feel good. So showing them, this is what you look like when you're mad. These are more appropriate ways to act, and then kind of thinking of ways to calm them down. And next is balloon. This one is calm. So this one for our speech has our B, balloon. Some of our children might make a T at the end, balloon. T. So show them na, na. And I just kind of point out the N. Looking in the mirror can also help to point it out. You can talk about, what does a balloon do? A balloon kind of floats. Does a balloon go fast or slow? It's very slow. When I watch a balloon, it makes me feel calm. That's how calm feels. Or talk about, after the bath, when you like to snuggle, that's calm. Point out different times throughout their day when they are calm and kind of explain that, what that feeling feels like. Oh, and I think when I read the book, I forgot to do this page. I might go back and do that. This is when my heart is broken. This is when you are feeling hurt. So you can say, just like when you hurt your knee, your heart can feel hurt. You can be upset. So that could be something like, my friend said something mean to me, or I lost a toy. That's sad, but it also can be hurt. Then there's the elephant. This one is sad. So when you feel really heavy. So you can practice your articulation with your F, and also talk about feeling sad. Next, this one's supposed to be more about, I called it a tree or a plant or broccoli. It looks like broccoli to me. And this is about a hope. And this is something that we're probably all trying to talk a little bit about, how a lot of people out there have hope that the virus goes away, or hope that someone is sick who feels better, hope that school starts again, hope that we can see our grandma and grandpa again. And you can explain it like a plant. Right now, it's a seed. We're not able to go to the store yet. But if we keep watering it, if we keep praying or sending good thoughts or being happy or things like that, it can make that hope grow. And then when it's big like a plant, that's when we get what we were hoping for. Then the wolf. This one has good articulation as well. Woof. And I keep doing this sound. So for the F, that one can be tricky. We bite our lip and then open. So if F is at the end of the word, we do it backwards. We open, woof, and that's usually how I point it out for them. This one is afraid or scared. You can, if your child's working on the S, you can change it to, oh, this is when I'm scared versus afraid. And you can talk about things that might scare them. It doesn't have to be like a scary movie, but it can be different social situations and how you can work through that. The hat, the magic hat, represents silly. And sometimes, it's appropriate to be silly. Maybe your child gets silly, but they're doing things that are inappropriate. So this would be a good thing to talk about as well. When you're silly, I can tell you're wiggling, and sometimes you like to throw things. Well, when I'm silly, I do this instead of throwing things at the wall or whatever they're doing that might be inappropriate. For the S, same thing, silly. And almost done. The last one is shy. And that's a sound that we're necessarily working on, but you can do it this way. Shh. So just bring your lips together and then blow. Some of your children may not be able to bring their lips together like that, so you can help them with your hands. Shh. I. And talk about how this is when maybe you don't want to look at someone or you want to hide. That makes me feel shy. And the last part is, if you would like to, you can record yourself and send it to me, or record your child, not yourself, and have them tell me how they are feeling, and I can respond, or you can just practice and talk about it at home. Okay, guys, have a good week, and message me if you have any questions.